So we've set up the collet again. We've got a mandrel in here. It's a two-ended mandrel, so that we can take the thread, which is M9 by 0.75, and then we can turn it around and use the threads for the nib section at this end to finish off the turn there. So we'll just put this into here like so. We just twist it in till it stops, so we don't spin her up. There you go, natural depth stop there. Perfect. Right, what we will do is I'm just going to zoom in the camera. We'll just quickly put this in as well. Let's see where we get to. I don't think that may fit, but we'll see. There we go. Right. And then trouble with these smaller ones. Let's try it this way. So we get in there so we can go smaller. Just got to remember that we are at an angle when we're trying to do it. Right, I'm just going to zoom in a little piece with this. That should lock it into there so that we can have a look. Right, mask. Piece. So we're going to turn this section. We're going to make it into, I think, about 12 mil thick. But what we'll do is we'll just take up a lot of the depth for this for now. Now I prefer to use my round carbide. Let's see if we get that distance. That's too deep, shallow. Go, that's about 7, just a fraction more. Right. See that that's slightly out of whack. Let's give it a spin. Okay, let's get that. So we're going to lose the push again. Keep an eye on the heat. It's quite nice because it's got different layers of purple in the ebonite, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. It's a little long, so we're going to have to cut the end off at some point. Turn her up. coming and going. There's blues in there as well, so there's some really nice colours. So I'm looking forward to that being polished up. Now I'm trying to create a sort of a grip, so we keep a concave. I like the concave feeling. Some people prefer the straight, but I just like to spin it, because the way how my fingers work is for it to sit in this section here, so that when I'm holding the pen I have complete control with my 3 fingers. It's one of the being my age, when we used to have letter writing classes at school. Don't do that anymore, handwriting classes, which is a bit of a shame, but that's another political thing. The reason I really stopped was the way I use the carbide is I like to, rather than just come straight in and cross and stuff like that, I like to have it at 45 degrees and then a slight tip. And I just find that cuts a nicer cut in there, and it doesn't get too hot, though that is a little bit warm, but it's cool enough. So I'll crack on. So back on with the horrible sound. To go. I'm going to chop off the ends shortly, but let's just get down a bit. So here you can see the limitation with the mandrel. So we're now at the level of the mandrel. So I can now need to stop that end. There is a facility once we turn this round, which we'll show you, to then finish off the back end. So we will do this now, this half, and then finish it off in a second. I've just got to keep measuring now. So again, we're at 13.3. So we need to get come back now. So we need to obviously get I want to try and get it as level as I can to that. So that is 11.3. We're currently at 13.3, so we've got 2 millimeters to go, which doesn't sound a lot, but in the scheme of things, it is. Right, I'm going to turn the strap on again. Six in there. take off. So first of all, we're going to cut that. Cut it short. I want to cut it slightly longer. The reason being is I'm making a little tiny concave so that when we put the nib in, we can be able to hear that. We can then put, when we put the nib housing into there, I like for the lip just to be on the inside, so it's flush with the front face. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit more. Let's have a look, see where I am with that. I do believe that's glue, so I'm just going to cut a little bit more off. I want to get a light on that. Hold on. No, I think we're at it. So change of tool. I just want to square that off slightly. Okay, let's have a look. There's me. Right. I'm just going to change my glasses. Because my glasses, that makes it double. So I think right. Let's try it. So the question is, maybe they're not gone far enough. I think we can take some more from that. I'm just trying to determine whether that's the metal. I've just got a little bit more to take off. Okay, so let's just have a quick look. Let's take that off there, and let's have a look, see what we've got. It doesn't want to go in there for some reason. And I think it's because that shoulder, we've got a little shoulder on there. So what I'm going to do to put that back in is we're just going to have to take that little shoulder out. Little shoulder out, so there's my sharp one. Just going to take a little bit out of there. In fact, I think that is why, because it's giving me an optical illusion. I just need to take a bit more off of that. The joys of taking that off. Let's take a bit more. Lip, lip, lip. There we go. Now we just need to turn her up. Take them just a little bit too much off. Let's see how much spare we've got at the other end. We've got plenty, so I can take a little bit more in there. Don't overdo it. And just take a little bit of that metal out, and then that will go in quite nicely. Right, just a bit more, put that safely. Take a little bit out of there. That's it. Okay, I'm happy with that. We're going to make that a little bit thinner on the outside. I kind of like that actually. Measure that. It's going to take a little fraction off. More. Yep. The rest will perfect. Okay, we just got a little gap in there. Don't know why, that's probably going to thingy. Right. So the next thing is to do that. Yeah. Right. And then turn that around. And oh, scratch there. Turn that up. Right. And what we should have is enough for that to hold on to there. Now, brush. Put it down somewhere. Never good when you put something down, is it? There she is. Right. So now we can check this. We can keep an eye on it now, so we just want to make sure that we don't get any of that. So that's going to go right down to there. Right. Okay. Right, we're just going to do the air again. leave this on to bring the, because if I catch it, I'm going to catch the threads, and then that's the whole thing ruined. So we're just going to come down a little bit more. We just build it gently. So I'm just gonna Right, so I'm going to stop this video here and then make another one. So I'm going to stop the video here, make it too long, and then what I'm going to do is we'll do another video of polishing that up, and then we can see, don't know whether we can do that with, you can see all the different colours, purples in there, so I'm really excited to get this all polished up, and then we've got a nice, see how that just sits in between, for me anyway. My hands are probably medium hands, they're not small, but they're medium, so that's an average fit, and I like that. And then the pen can sit through the rest, which is why we're going to try and make the pen slimmer from the beginning, because I had a few people comment that they don't like the step down from here. They don't like this step down. They find that uncomfortable. So we're going to try and get that. We'll probably come out and then come back in again, just so that can sit. So let's just have a look. So that will set in. Threads are getting a bit dirty now. And then that'll just sit. We'll get rid of that. And then we've got a lovely pen. Oh yeah, that feels good already. Bit of weight in there, but we like the feel of that. So I'm going to polish this up in a second in the next video. Usual stuff that we have to say. Please follow, subscribe, like, all the other stuff. It tells me to do that in the video. And then we'll come back to the new one. Thank you very much.